In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 big lessons that you can learn from the TV show Adolescence and what you as a parent can do to protect your teen. And the big thing that's coming out of this TV show is that we're into a new reality. We are in a brave new world. The cultural landscape has shifted. And the big thing for most parents that I talk to, and I talk to parents all the time, I work with teenagers all the time, is that we are in a different world than the world that you and I grew up in. A social media, digital world, and that's very different. So teenagers today, and here's the first big lesson. Teenagers today are overwhelmed. They're not lazy. You think they're lazy. You think that they don't care, but actually they are overwhelmed. We live in this 24-hour cycle and they're never off. So they're always on. And the big challenge for most teenagers that I see today is they are fatigued. They're tired because we're caught in this constant state of onness. They're tired. And I see this from going into schools. Young people are struggling to cope emotionally because we're in this 24-hour cycle all the time. So here's the big thing for you as a parent. What you can do right now, instead of judging your teenager, instead of saying, I wish they'd just get on with it, it's to actually observe what's happening and to ask them simply, how can I help? What do you need me to do to help you right now? Instead of asking, have you got that homework done? Have you got that study done? Maybe ask them, do you need to reset? Do you need some time out? So it's to give them that bit of space. The second big challenge for teenagers today is that it's not that social media is the enemy, it's social anxiety. One of the big challenges for teenagers today is relationships. They're struggling in relationships, to have normal conversations, to know what a healthy relationship looks like, to have conversations. Only had this conversation 2 weeks ago with a principal in a school in Wexford. He said they're not talking to each other. At 4:30 in the evening, I put my head out the window. Some of the students are waiting on a bus. There's 10 students sitting at a bus stop. They're all on their phone. Nobody's talking to each other. This is a problem today. And even in this show, the whole story revolves around a boy who likes a girl and she calls him, insults him online, calls him an incel, which means incelibate. What does that mean? It means he's a low status boy. He's not going to get a girl. And this really insulted him. And even in the show, when he's talking to the psychotherapist, he's saying, I'm ugly. So it's this sense of judgment. And this is a big problem for teenagers today. It's this sense of judgment. They're always being watched. They're always on. It's this comparison culture. And in adolescence, young people are struggling anyway with their sense of identity, the sense of who they are. They're only coming into themselves. Sexuality is a big thing. There's so many different issues going on. And this is what's causing all these big emotions. So what you can do as a parent is to have a healthy relationship with your teen, to demonstrate what a healthy friendship looks like. One of the big things I see with a lot of teens is they're lonely. I see young people very lonely today. They're in their bedroom, maybe they don't have any friends, or they're struggling to even have a friend. And what I see with a lot of parents is they are becoming their child's best friend because they're feeling sorry for them. It's not your job to be your child's best friend. Which brings me to lesson number 3, and it's this. And what parents said to me the other night in my resilience program, Raise Their Resilience, they said, you think your child is safe at home, but they're not. And the big concern for all parents is you're sitting downstairs, they're upstairs, they're on their phone, they're on the internet, and you're thinking, who are they talking to? What are they consuming? And I think what came across very well in this show is that we don't know is the big answer. So here's what you don't do as a parent. You can't take away their phone. You can't turn off the internet. We can't take them out of this digital world. But what you can do is to create healthy boundaries. You can help them to be able to control their digital life, to be able to, for themselves, to set normal boundaries. How do you do that? Well, you have to look at your digital use. Only this morning I was coaching a student. We looked at a screen time, 25 hours last week of screen time. And I bet if you looked at your phone, it's probably the same. Now, the big thing is, for a lot of teenagers, that 25 hours for him was TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram. And even by his own words, he said, you know, I'm wasting so much time. I know I'm just hanging around, waiting for dinner, waiting to go training, waiting to go play football, so I go onto TikTok and Instagram. This generation are never bored. So one of the things that you can do is to have times during the house where you sit down as a family. Maybe it's during dinner, there's no screens, and you're having healthy conversations. You're helping them to create some boundaries or rules around their tech, where they give their brain a chance to come off the phone. And the big thing is, and one of my personal opinions is, be under the age of 16, teenagers should not have a phone in their bedroom. So there's the three big lessons. For me, one of the big things that came out of this is that young people their brains are fried. They're on all the time. They're constantly being judged. And in stark contrast, I was reflecting on when I was a teenager, where you didn't have this constant scrutiny, that constant being watched, this constant judgment every single day. And I'm in schools all the time. They're sitting in class. They're afraid to even put up their hand. Why? They're afraid to get the question wrong, and then they're going to be judged and people think they're stupid. And this is having a huge knock-on effect. Young people are frozen and they're paralyzed by fear. Whereas when you or I were young, you could make mistakes. You had the freedom to fail and not be judged. And thank God there was no phones around when I was a teenager. I think of that all the time. So here's the big thing, and my takeaway for you as a parent. This is not a time to panic. It's time to pause, and it's time to be proactive. This is not about being the perfect parent. This is about you being present as a parent, being there with your teenager every single day, through the ups, through the downs, the tears and the joy, and listening, watching, observing, talking, being present. Because we all live in a very noisy, fast world today, and everybody is focused on the next task in front of them, instead of sometimes sitting with the person beside you. And that's really important, to be present. So if you like this video, click a like. If you want my coaching, go to raisethegame.com. If you want me to come to your school, go to raisethegame.com. And remember, guys, day by day, we are raising the game.